I'm Kevin Brown. I represent Vernon's 56th district. It is a community that has a fair amount of need, and so I don't take this issue lightly. As was said, like my good colleague, Representative Khan, I'm also a teacher. And to see this as an issue of equity, this is perfect timing because I left from and will go back to an education committee public hearing focusing on the issue of education funding and educational equity. Our reliance on property tax to fund education is backwards, and it shifts the burden onto the people who have the hardest time bearing it. And it perpetuates a cycle of poverty that we have the power to do something about. All students deserve a high quality education where they live, regardless of zip code. We shouldn't have to find education in other parts of the state and other places because your community is not wealthy enough to fund it. This requires highly qualified teachers to be in those classrooms, and tax inequity stands in the way of that. We have a shortage of educators in the state of Connecticut right now. At last check on CT REAP, which is a clearinghouse for open teaching and education positions, there was over 800 positions open at last check. How will tax inequity help to attract educators? Right? Educators are in the lower deciles of the tax structure and therefore are having to commit much more, a higher percentage of their earnings to pay for things that they're not seeing a return on. And the costs are becoming prohibitive for someone to take on a teaching position. It's expensive to get the education required in order to become a teacher. The state of Connecticut requires a master's degree, and as I'm sure you've all seen, and maybe know for yourselves how much you're paying for your education, that's just becoming cost prohibitive. And worse yet, well-funded districts have the ability to hire staff away from school districts that are in communities where the needs are the highest. So we need more people to be in them, not less, and the well-funded districts, because of the backwards nature of the property tax structure, are able to hire people away. We're working to raise salaries for teachers and paraprofessionals and others in the education field to truly show them the appreciation for the important work they do, but with that comes changing this system and making it a more equitable tax structure. It would provide millions of dollars more that would allow for us to fully fund ECS and not have to pit early childhood against the K-12 system in the state of Connecticut. And it would allow us to be more attractive to hire highly qualified staff to work with what are our most precious investments in this state, our children. All right. As a history teacher, I can't help but think of that we've been here before. The Gilded Age comes to mind. We're living in this modern day Gilded Age that doesn't necessarily have to happen. It's a choice. Tax inequity has created a haves versus have-not scenario in which we'll be perpetually stuck unless we make the conscious choice to do something about it. And so I believe that time is now, so let's do something about that. Thank you.